Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another long-term update for you. This is I've not done one of these in a while, so you see there's quite a few knives on here. You guys find these very interesting. Some of these knives I've carried a lot, some of them not so much, but I've had them for quite a long time, and I'll try to annotate if I've carried them a lot or not, and why or why not, and any issues that have come up with them. I think it's a pretty valuable data point, just for the fact that nothing else. I still have them. I've had all these for at least 3 to 6 months. A lot of times stuff comes through here and I just let it go to move on to something else. So you know that I at least kind of like them because I still have them around. So if nothing else, that's a good data point, just that I still have them. You guys know I don't get too emotionally attached to stuff. I do let it go pretty quick. But I'm just going to go knife by knife. We have, what, 7 here? I go knife by knife and some updates that have happened since I've done the original review. I will link to the original reviews right down below in the description if you want to go check those out. And a lot of these, I actually do have a lot to say about these. Sometimes I have nothing to say. I think every one of these I actually have something to say about. So let's get going. We're just going to go left to right. Start off with the Cold Steel 8010. I still really do like this. $179. I think the price went up a little bit for a while, but I see it has stabilized back down to $179. It's been an amazing knife. It's been I've used it pretty every time. I don't carry it often, but when I do it, it gets used. I do like it just for a big user, just because the ergos are so good. That lock, you never have to worry about it failing, and it's just a great blade shape. This is a hollow ground S35VN, and that's one thing I'm not 100% sure on about anymore. I have heard from 2 separate people messaged me. Well, one messaged me on Instagram, one emailed me that it's not hollow ground anymore, that they got new ones and they're flat ground. But I don't know. Every place I looked that still has them on for sale right now list them as hollow ground. I don't know. I really hope that's not true, because that's my favorite thing about this. It's such an excellent slicer. Great edge on this out of the box. I've had to touch it up once because I used it pretty hard one day, and I did have to touch it up a couple days in a row, actually doing yard work and stuff, cutting up you know uh, you know trees, like this tree, quote unquote trees, saplings the size of my thumb. After a couple days of doing that, I did have to touch it up a little bit. It's not what it's really made. You shouldn't use a folding knife for that, but I'm an idiot, so that's what I was doing. So I did have to touch it up after that. But other than that, yeah, it's been great. A couple little scratches on the blade it's gotten from being used a little bit, but nothing. Who cares about scratches? It's fine. Everything I loved about it before, still love it. This is an awesome big bruiser. It's just a great knife to carry. It's so comfortable. And in carry, it's a bit heavy, it's a bit bulky, but I mean, as far as good knife to use, it's great. I do choke up on it a fair bit. It still works awesome. Probably my favorite thing that Cold Steel makes, other than maybe the Code 4. I really do have a love affair with the Code 4, but it's really good, and it's held up well. Nothing's really been a big surprise. I'm just unsure about that flat versus hollow. You guys comment down below if you've gotten one of the new batches of them. Is yours hollow ground or flat ground? I'm really interested to hear that, because I'm not really sure. I kind of get the feeling that maybe the new batch is flat ground, which would be a shame. It would still be an amazing knife, but not as good as this awesome slicey hollow ground blade is. That would be too bad, but it's held up well. I'm glad I'm doing it now, because this is June. Recording this on June 24th. It's officially summer. Clothes are going to get lighter. This thing probably isn't going to get carried much until wintertime, but it ain't going anywhere, especially if they switch to the flat ground now. This will be one that I will keep forever and ever. Next up, the Benchmade Anthem. You guys know this was kind of one of my grails. I was very excited to get it. I'm still very excited to own it. I've never been tempted to sell it. It's been great. It's been everything I wanted. It still has the MXG Gear deep carry clip on it, specifically made for the Anthem. That is another thing to know. I think I noted it in the review, but if you are buying a clip, aftermarket clip for an Anthem, make sure it's for the Anthem. It's spaced a bit differently. The veiny penis clip shall never be on this knife. I like this clip a lot. Matches the hardware and stuff. I carry this quite a lot, actually. I think it's made some of my most carried. I do the monthly most carried things. It's made that list a whole lot. It's great. The only downside I have to it is still and it bothers me more than it did when I did the review, is just that you can feel the bearings rolling on it. It's getting better. Absolutely sure it's starting to wear in there a little bit, but you can still kind of feel the bearings rolling on the titanium. I think I kind of blew that off in the review a little bit, but it does bother me just a little bit. It doesn't run on steel races or anything like that. It just runs on the titanium, which on an integral like this, yeah, it's probably gonna. What are you gonna do? It's gonna be really hard to put, steel bearing races in there. If you press fit in, one comes loose. It's the end of the knife. Be a whole thing. Totally get why they did it, but it's really a small thing. I love the action on it. It's still just great. I love the looks of it. I love the way it carries. I actually sold my 940. I'm sure I'm going to get a less expensive 940 to use for size comparisons, but I like this so much that I sold my 940-1501 because I just carried this more. The 1501 just kind of sat there and it was discontinued, so I thought I could get a good price for it, and I did, so I sold it. Next up, the Civivi Anthropos. This is one I've had for a while, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of putting it in here because you guys ask about it a lot. I had this and the Plethoros at the same time. Slightly larger knife. I sold the Plethoros. I just don't find myself carrying this a whole lot. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with it. Elijah Isham design. It's very nice looking. Very good ergonomics. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't find its way into my pocket a whole lot. D2 steel. Yeah, I don't know. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. The times that I do carry it, it works great. But, yeah, I just don't find myself carrying it that much. This is definitely a very practical design for Elijah Isham, but... And like I said, every time I use it, I like it, but... I don't know. It just doesn't find its way in my hand a whole lot. So I don't have anything to comment as far as is anything going wrong with it or anything, because it hasn't got a lot of use. These other two have gotten a lot of use. This one, I'm just gonna say, hasn't gotten a lot of use. I don't know. Next knife sale, that's probably gonna be on it, just because I just don't carry it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I just don't carry it. Next up, the Arm Skaha 2. I'm not sure. I don't think I've actually. I know it's been in live videos and stuff, and I did a quick little video about how I got this, but I had already done a review of the Skaha 2 by the time I got this, so I think I did a little video about talking about how I got it. I don't really remember, but I'll find out when I try to find a link about it. But it did take a while for it to break in to get the same really drop shutty action that the G10 one that I borrowed from someone else had, but it definitely has it now. You gotta shake it just a little bit, but it's action on this thing is fantastic. I've used it just very recently in a comparison video with the TRM Atom. I still carry it quite a bit. It's just so light. I really like it. This and the Atom when I want something light but a bit larger. This is what I carry. I'm actually working on a summer carry video. I'm just trying to I've been trying to find since it got warm out my summer wallet, and I can't lay my hands on one. I'm almost about ready to buy another one. I'm not going to tell the brand of it, but it only costs $20. I'll probably get another one. Yeah, this is definitely going to be used in heavy rotation over the summer. The looks of it are still great. I've had zero issues with it whatsoever. Centering's still perfect. All that stuff. Everything's still great with it. Next up, we have the steel wheel Lanner. Really still liking this. I still grab it a lot. It's not a horribly expensive knife. This is well under $100. I think they're like, what, 65, 70, something like that. It's held up well. I've used it quite a bit. It's become kind of my favorite, quote unquote beater knife. I know for a lot of people this price range isn't a beater, but I'm a knife reviewer, so I got a lot of expensive stuff. So for me, this is kind of beater price range, and works great. Love the look of it still. The iridescent backspacer with the anodization gets compliments all the time. I just love the ergos of it. It's been really good. It's been excellent. I really do like this new steel wheel with the D2 and the liners and the G10. I think that's a really cool niche they're coming into. And this is my favorite of all of them they've come out with. The Piercer, the The piercer's excellent also, but I think I do slightly still prefer the lantern to it. Well, I know I do because I had a piercer and I don't anymore, and I still have this. So that just goes to show you. I think this is an excellent knife that you don't hear anything about, and I highly recommend it. I do. This is a really, really good knife, the lantern from Steelwell. Next up, we have the Spider Monkey from Southern Grind. Yeah, it's still one of my top 3 or 4 favorite knives that I own. It is just fantastic. This is not a new knife. We've been down this road before. You guys know I got it at Blade HQ. I was not expecting to get it. A nice woman there made me try it out, and I just fell in love with it. And I'm still in love with it. It's just a great knife. It's a really hard knife to keep out of my pocket. I've had no real issues with it. It's just the only issues I've had is you have to use the proprietary tool. I bought the proprietary tool. It's only $12. This knife itself is, I think, like in the 220-ish range, something around there. $12 for a proprietary tool. Yeah, not great, but it works well. Everything wasn't Loctited up. It worked great. You can see on these screws. You need that little 2-prong dealie to take them out. It's been good. It's become slightly off-center. Not by much. Just by a tick there. And I can't really correct it. I basically got the screw tightened down, the pivot tightened down as much as I can. Nothing I can really do about it at that point. And the lockup's early. A lot of people commented on that from the video. But it's never been an issue. And I know other people who have gotten them recently, and their lockup is early as well. I think that's just the way they are. But you know what? It doesn't fail. I've done all the spine thwackiness, all that stuff. It's been fine. I think that's just the way they are. This is not your normal liner lock. These liners are very, very thick. I think that's just part of it. It's always been fine. No lock stick, no nothing. Action is great, as I just failed to make it lock. But the action's been great. Just getting better and better, smoother and smoother. Loving this thing. Still, I have no complaints other than the blade's slightly off center. It took a long time for it to get there. This thing gets a lot of use. Of all these, this has probably been used the most. Next up, we have the Spyderco Kapara. This may have actually been used the most because I sent it to a couple other people. And I don't know how much they used it. So it's been in my hands. It's been in the hands of a couple other YouTubers. This has been around in the collection the most also. Still really like it. I think it's still one of the best things that Spyderco makes. I think currently, especially the new stuff, this and the Para 3, two of the best things they make. If you want to go back a bit, maybe the Para 3 and the GB2, it's just a great knife. I love it. I'm so glad to have it back. I didn't have it. I got it back, I don't know, like a month ago. But then I was at Blade Show and all that stuff. I'm just really glad to have it back. Everything's held up well. This nice carbon still looks gorgeous. Again, it's been in my pocket. It's been in the pocket of a couple other YouTubers. It's been really good. The only downside to it, again, is not to echo, but it's off-center. And it has been for quite some time. I haven't watched my own video to see if I mentioned it in the video, but if it's not mentioned in the original review, it happened fairly shortly thereafter. And I'd taken it apart. I tried swapping the washers around one side to the other. I thought, oh, maybe one of the other guys took it apart and moved it. No, it just is. And I know you can adjust the screws both sides. I've tried and tried and tried. I can't get it to center back up. Doesn't touch anything. Not a big deal to me, but this is a long-term review, so I'm pointing that out. The action on this has been amazing. I've had several people comment every time I put this on a video. They always say, how did you get yours to be so drop shutty? It just kind of was. I didn't do much to it at all. I got it. It was fairly drop shutty out of the box, and then I dribbled some KPL in there, and that was it. I've since taken it apart, put it back together not many times, but several times. But even when I just dribbled some KPL in there, it just became completely drop shutty. And initially it was drop shutty and centered, and now it's to my recollection it was drop shutty and centered again. Go back and reference my own video, but now it's drop shutty and not quite centered. But there's no blade play or anything like that. It's rock solid, nothing wrong there. But it's a bit off center, but I still love it. Still one of my favorite EDCs. Just a great, great, great knife. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I feel like there was one more I forgot. I know there is. You know what? I'll put it in the next one. We're 15 minutes in. I'm not going to start this thing all over again for that. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. And I'm going to try and do these more often. We'll have another one coming up and another, these are kind of all of them I was missing. So it's going to be another 3-6 months before I do another one. But I know you guys enjoy these. Just to kind of let you know how stuff's doing. And as I said, if I still have it, I probably still like it because I sell stuff pretty quick. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.